Is it time for Mr. McConnell to step aside? Joining me right now, Republican strategist Evan Siegfried and American Majority CEO Ned Ryun. Good to see you both.
Hey, Trish.
I'm guessing you think he's seen his better days, Ned. Walk us through why he should resign.
That would be an understatement, Trish. I think what we have to start to acknowledge is the fact that both Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell were barely tolerable opposition leaders, and they have proven that they are not governing leaders. Let's go back to January 26th, when they went in front of a camera, when they're at the Republican retreat in Philadelphia, and said, we will get tax reform and health care done by the August recess because we believe that we have an obligation to fulfill our campaign commitments. And so when Mitch McConnell comes out and says that the president and his supporters have excessive expectations, I'm sorry, sir, you actually made those promises for 7 years in regards to repealing Obamacare, but also clearly stated what you were going to do starting the beginning of this year. And when you cannot drive a message or a narrative, when you cannot get your caucuses together to actually get legislation passed, Trish, the leadership is so bad, I'm beginning to think it might be intentional.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, to pursue that a little further here, Evan, there's a lot of resentment, right, within the Republican Party that has been directed at Donald Trump. You can admit that.
Yes, there absolutely was. But the election's over, and we want to work with Donald Trump where we can and where we agree, because his success is our success. And
if you really, I mean,
on tax reform, absolutely. On actually having a real replacement here, Mitch McConnell isn't somehow engaging in some petty grudge to derail President Trump's agenda. It's a joint agenda. You think he's going to derail tax reform after all these years? Let's actually look at the realm of reality.
I mean, look at Paul Ryan consistently pursuing that whole border tax thing, which very well could have derailed.
And the border tax was a $5 trillion shadow tax on Americans, and it was wrong. But let's look at reality. What happens if we lose Mitch McConnell? Who would take his place? There is no member of the Republican Senate who can unite the caucus and can move legislation like Mitch McConnell can. So if you do that, it's going to make things worse. And Ned, I think
what legislation? There's nothing. They've had 200 days. Here's the thing, Evan, you and I can both agree, we've had this conversation about an inability to drive a message and a narrative. The thing that I am perplexed by is, why did Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell not sit down the week after the elections and say, we have our chance. We have been raising hundreds of millions of dollars off of repealing Obamacare. We have been talking about it for 7 years. Now we have the White House. Now we have a legitimate chance to do this. Let's figure out how we get the Freedom Caucus and the Tuesday Group and the moderates and the conservatives together and have a conversation about, listen, nobody's going to walk away happy. You're going to get probably 70% of what you want. Let's get an agenda in place. Let's get a bill in place, and let's drive this thing forward because we can actually make serious progress.
You're not wrong on that.
You're not
wrong, but why play Monday morning quarterback on saying this is the first 200 days and, oh, we should have done it this way and that way? Let's talk about the next 3.5 years of President Trump in office and how he can be successful.
But because of this, Evan,
hold on, Ned. I would say that what we can do is stop having the president attacking the very people he needs to move things like tax reform, infrastructure, Obamacare repeal and replacement. Do you think it wins him any allies? They are going to knife him. They already believe he's a weak president. When he wanted FDA user fees increased, the Congress in both the House and Senate ignored him. They're ignoring him on the FAA. They think he's a lame duck.
Evan, here's the situation. Guess who's on the ballot next year? It's not President Trump. It's every Republican in the House. And Republicans, 8 of them in the Senate, are on up for re-election next year.
Absolutely. And every time President Trump attacks them, it helps Democrats.
Let Ned finish his thought.
Here's the thing. The base is still with Trump. Midterms are base elections. If they do not start passing some of President Trump's agenda, which you and I both agree is not, we're in agreement. We repeal Obamacare. We have to have some sort of tax reform. He should call them down and say, let me help you, help yourselves. The base is with me. You pass a couple of these agenda items, you could keep the majorities.
He's
this is to save the Republican Party.
To help themselves. They've got to do their jobs, or guess what? They're getting voted out.
Exactly.
Pure, simple. And you're going to see some whole other kind of new party out there. Anyway, Ned, Evan, thank you so much. Good to see you guys.
Thanks, Trish.